Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? I thought I was streaming, and apparently I wasn't. So I'm glad I realized that I was just recording and not streaming. I think the technology's for the young, y'all. It really is. So glad. Let me welcome you to Blessed to Crochet. Do y'all love my backdrop? So much better than before. I didn't realize that it would be really simple, and I don't know why I never thought about it. Just doing a simple C to C, that's all that the big panels are. Just doing a C to C crochet and framing it. What a wonderful idea if you were thinking about doing something on a very, very fixed, you needed to do something inexpensively, and you had scrap yarn, maybe some beautiful, beautiful colored yarn, scrapped yarn. It'd be beautiful in a picture frame. Oh my goodness. I love, love, love the idea. And so I've been kind of working on that as I've been dealing with uh, some migraine issues for the past couple days. So I appreciate your patience and understanding. If somebody can let me know that they can hear me, welcome everybody. I love that I'm getting to meet some new people and some new friends. In the description below will be the pattern to this poncho. It's pretty much a poncho I do pretty um, a lot, and I do it as gifts too. And so if you're interested in making this poncho, then in the description below is uh, is going to be my is the pattern for it. So if you're interested in it, it is in the description below. So I want to welcome everybody. We're going to do a topic I thought was um, kind of fitting tonight. Was talking about what is your battle plan to maybe deal with some, you know, fibromyalgia issues or chronic pain issues, and then um, after that, what was kind of my journey, and that kind of goes into it. And we're gonna do um, kind of this: what is your battle plan? Um, as a topic that we're going to bring up because I think it's a really, really important topic. No matter what you're struggling with, it's really important that you have a battle plan to be able to handle it. And I think it's important to come on and maybe talk about my journey fibromyalgia wise because I think it sets the platform here to understand that unfortunately there will be days. I was hoping to come on Tuesday and it just didn't work out. Where I'm not going to be able to come on live because of different fibromyalgia issues. And I think that a voice to fibromyalgia or chronic pain really needs to be shown because I think it's one of those that often the doctors look at. Maybe you have friends or families, relatives that just don't understand. And they're looking and go, oh, you're hurting. Oh, you're tired. And they may not understand it. So I that's one thing that I thought I would really go into a little bit and turn my volume up. Okay, I will see. Let's see if that's better. I can bring my mic closer. See if that's better. Is that better, Samantha? Because I can bring my mic closer. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, that's better. So we'll have the mic closer. Okay. I don't know why my chat is not My chat is, I'm reloading a chat to see if I can kind of keep up with it here because I don't know why I can't see it. Like I said, technology, we're going to get this, y'all. This is all. We're going to get it one way or another. And I'm thankful for Samantha. She's one of our moderators. Please go check out her channel. And Samantha, please feel free to go in and check on your, or go ahead and drop your link if you'd like to. So, well, you know, I think that that's part of it, too, is wanting to learn, because I think that having knowledge of what's going on and, you know, why, you know, what somebody's going through is important. And I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was, where was I? 2012 is when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I started noticing some things happening. Before that, I was dealing with some pretty consistent migraines. That's what actually started me down that path of trying to go down that. And so I started with migraines, and not really making the connection that the migraines were probably being caused by the fibromyalgia. Didn't understand that was the connection between both of them. And so I started not connecting the dots and understanding it. And I was hurting. I had on and off back issues. And I just figured out I was hurting. You know, I was working, I was taking care of my daughter and life, and I thought, okay, I'm just hurting, and I'm just somebody that's going to suffer with migraines, not understanding what all the connections were. And you know, I had to leave my job, and because my daughter was having some medical issues, and I was also having some medical issues, and things were going on. And I left my job, and then of course my insurance kind of fell through. Now before this, I went to a wonderful doctor that continued to see me. He was an amazing doctor. I actually cried when I left Florida. He was so awesome. And he didn't treat me. He treated me like a human, which he was just an amazing, amazing doctor. And he sent me to a pain management doctor who, we were just trying to deal with the migraine headaches. And he gave me medication and said, take this every day. Well, you know, I took it, and I ended up calling my pharmacy, and I said, can this medication actually make your migraines worse? And they knew me, and they said, believe it or not. And I said, can it make it worse? And he came back and he said, no, I don't think so, but let me check. And he said, actually 1% of all patients, it makes their headaches worse. I was like, well, I'm part of the 1%. So that medication was out. I don't remember the medication it was. And then he wanted to do, you know, putting the anesthesia in your neck. And my grandmother had something similar, and she did not have a good result. So I decided not to go down that route. And then when, of course, I lost my insurance, and my wonderful doctor kept seeing me and kept treating me. And he said, you know what, I really think that some of your symptoms, the pain, the headaches, is coming from fibromyalgia. And I started connecting all the dots, and I started looking at it going, okay, you know, let's check this out. And let's see if this is true. And I thought, well, I have so many of the signs of this. And and I'm trying to see if I can see, because I don't know why my chat's not it's not I can't see it on here, so I'm having to look down at my phone. And so, I went through the whole, I went through and I went through trying to I went through trying to see what I could, doing the symptoms of fibromyalgia. And I'm like, you know what? This seems like something I may have. And we had to go down after I had to walk away from my job. I worked as a cashier. I went through and found a rheumatologist that unfortunately I had to pay out of pocket in order to go see. And I'll never forget it. And he walked in. Bedside manner was not in any way, shape, or form. And he walked in and he said, "You have fibromyalgia." Okay, could you have been a little bit nicer when you said it? I knew probably a year prior to that I had fibromyalgia. But I didn't understand. It was like, okay, it's true. I have this. Now, here's the thing. You have to realize when you're hit with a diagnosis like that, you now are sitting there going, wait a minute, my whole life's about to change. And it did. It was changing prior to that, but it's sinking in now. My life is going to change. I'm not going to be the same person that I was prior to this diagnosis. And then you have to start going through the grief steps of being knocked with a diagnosis like that. And so I had to go through it. And then also realizing that now you have to, if your family, there's going to be family and friends that do not understand it. Do not understand the diagnosis, and they're going to think, you're just tired. You need more sleep. You need more exercise. You need this. You need that. Wonderful, wonderful advice. However, they're not living in your body. This, you're all going to realize this sooner or later. I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan. Huge. Number one artist on the top of my list. And you know what? He sings a song called "Walk a Mile in My Shoes." And it's true. Walk a mile in my shoes. Absolutely. You haven't walked a mile in my shoes. This is what I tell people to tell others that are trying to explain this diagnosis that has been given to you that no blood test can determine. They can't determine it by blood tests. They can only determine it by symptoms. There's not a piece of paper that says you've had a blood test, like when you have diabetes or something, that says, here's proof. You're stuck with the symptoms of it. And to some people, it seems like you're making up the symptoms. I tell people, you know what? Have you ever worked out really tough one day and you're sore and you're achy, or you walked an amusement park, you're sore and you're achy? Well, you know what? That is exactly like a day in fibromyalgia. And whether or not, if you deal with the migraines that come with it, are you going to have a migraine that's going to decide to pop out of nowhere? Now, I've made a decision that, as I know Samantha was asking, Mondays are probably not going to be a day I'm going to come on. I'm not going to close myself to that, but I'm probably not going to come on because my husband and I go to our therapist that day. We're starting to do some peeling the onion back, which is no fun. Sunday, if I've gone to church And usually I'm not a morning person. I may come up with a cup of coffee here and there. I am not a morning person. I'm much more of a night owl. Always have been that way. Ask my mother, who tried to get me out of bed to go to school. And so if I know I've got to get up and get ready and go someplace in the morning, I just rather get up, have my shower, get dressed, put makeup on if I have to, and get out the door. I don't want to do my routine. And usually when I get up in the morning, I'm getting up, I'm having my cup of coffee, I'm letting my body warm up a little bit, I'm taking some time to relax, I'm listening to the Lifeboat if I've missed it, different YouTube channels, and I'm just taking some time to go ahead and really, really, take some time for my body to warm up. And that doesn't usually happen on Sundays. So if I come home from church on Sunday and sometimes my daughter comes home with us and spends the afternoon, and if not, I may go and crochet for the rest of the afternoon Sunday, or if I need to take a nap, I take a nap. And then Mondays we have to get up and go to our therapist, and I come home, and I finding lately going to her has been wonderful. If you've got some of your onion to peel, don't sit there and try to avoid doing it. Go do it. Strongly suggest to go and talk with somebody and get some of those things out that may really have been laying there for years. It's not fun experience. And so I find out when I come back from that, I'm tired. I'm physically, emotionally, and all I want to do is just zone out for the day. There's not much on my schedule for Monday, and I purposely do that. And then, unfortunately, Monday started probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a migraine for me that lasted all the way till last night. It was not fun. And so I've had to make that adjustment in myself and my life. So when people ask me, well, what does fibromyalgia feel like? Well, it feels like you've been walking an amusement park every solitary day in and day out. Some days are worse than others, or you've really worked out really hard and you're sore. It is a huge thing when listen, I have to get up, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to hurt. I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to hurt, and I'm going to hurt throughout the day. That's a pretty lofty thing, and I'm going to be tired. I don't know when my migraines are going to decide that they're going to, wreak havoc. And all those kind of things play a factor in it. So when I finally got that diagnosis in the doctor's office to say to me, guess what? You've got fibromyalgia. Here you go. And just walked out. I'll never forget that. I was like, could you have had a little bit more of a bedside manner? You haven't given me a cancer diagnosis, and I was thankful, but you've given me a life-changing diagnosis. And I don't think I was at the denial stage, because I knew it's probably what it was. My other doctor figured out that that's what it was, and I knew that was probably what it is. But I got angry, and I'll never forget it. It was a couple days later where it finally hit. Mary, you have fibromyalgia, and it's going to dog you for the rest of your life. And I got angry. I got angry with my husband. I got angry with my daughter. I remember just crying and weeping. I was just absolutely going through the grief steps of what it was like to lose somebody. Because to some degree, I was losing the old me. I had to change me. I had to give in to, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm tired. I need to go have an hour's nap. I did it tonight before I came on. You know what? I'm tired, probably because I've been dealing with the migraine for about 48 hours on and off. I'm tired. I'm going to go lay down. I'm going to go put some hot pad on my head and my neck. And I actually fell asleep for an hour, and I woke up feeling a lot better. So I'm going to have to change how I'm doing things. I don't think you know, part of the steps are also, well, you know, I'll change if they come back. Well, that wasn't really it. But I did go through anger, went through denial, I went through anger, I went through depression and acceptance. I accept the fibromyalgia. I accept that this has been now my new life. There are times where I get angry with it. I got angry with it last night. I was like, oh man, I want to go on live. I want to see everybody. I promised everybody I was going to go on. And now, you know what? I can't. What I did wrong yesterday was I decided to open my shade and look outside. Well, the snow was out. It was bright. The sun was out, and the light reflected in my face. And I closed those windows real fast. And my mom said to me, she came in to look at my awesome backdrop, and she said, Mary, I couldn't stand it in here. It's so dark. I said, I can't open the windows. It's too bright outside. It's going to bring on that migraine worse. And of course, it started to. And I thought, if I come on with the computer lights and all of those other things, I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the initiative and not do that. So I decided not to come on, and I made the right decision for me. And I think that that's what, if you're dealing with somebody who has fibromyalgia in your life, you need to realize you're not in their body. If they're telling you they're tired, they're tired. If they're telling you they're hurting, they're hurting. You're not in their body. You have no idea what they're going through. This is not an imaginary disease or diagnosis. It's very, very, very real. So my battle plan, and of course I don't have any over here, is my crochet hook. That's where I pick up my crochet hook and I go, okay, I'm going to town, whatever it is. I worked on, hi Christine, I worked on this backdrop. And I did the panels. And that was what I did for the past couple of days. I think it came out really cool. I mean, it's $10. It looks a lot better than it did. And I'm going to do something with this wall. I've been working on something for this wall, crochet-wise. But I thought, I never thought about getting just beautiful, beautiful yarn and putting it in picture frames. Who would have thought? You could do a lot of things. It's just a simple C to C in the top ones and just hearts. Yes, battle plan was crochet, but it wasn't when I started. I did a lot of cross stitch, and I love cross stitch, and I actually have some things I have to get back to in cross stitch, but I have a laundry list of about this long for crochet, and I just never seem to find time to get to it. But I do have some things in my cross stitch that I need to work on. But it was not my battle plan when I first got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It wasn't. It was actually cross stitch at one point. It was something with my hands, and I remember, falling. We had these ice packs. And I can't remember when that was, but we had this, ice packs, and they had the little gel in it. And I actually fell in the middle of the night in our kitchen in Florida on tile floor. And I was so sore for months. And I utilized cross stitch. Now, the crochet came in my life when my aunt came down, and I saw her work on it. And I thought, oh, that would be so cool. I had tried knitting. I wasn't a fan of knitting. My mother knits. She does beautiful work. Every year when we used to have the Winter Olympics, she always would do an Afghan. But she would have her knitting needles, because it's the way her mother taught her. My grandmother had polio in her left arm. She would have her knitting needle under the arm. She could never do it down here. So when she was trying to teach me how to knit, she was trying, I just couldn't get it. I didn't like all the yarn on the knitting needles. And so I thought, oh, this would be great. I'd love to learn how to crochet. And I actually learned trying to learn on YouTube. My husband tried to show me. I got frustrated, and I went down to a yarn shop in Fort Lauderdale that showed me exactly how to do it in person. And I'm like, okay, if I could just get this hat done, I'll never pick up another crochet hook again. The last famous words, never. And I did finish it. I think my daughter has it. I should have kept it because it was the first one. I've come a long way. And I learned after that through YouTube videos. But then it really clicked with me that this is what I was doing really to be able to combat the pain. I had always been doing something. It was crochet or cross stitch for a long time. And I added the crochet hook into my repertoire. I've also done paint pouring. There was a time where I was doing diamond painting. I still have some diamond painting, which is taking those little diamond things and sticking them on there. I love doing diamond painting. I've got some that I actually have to finish. I have one of Elvis that I need to finish. I don't care what you do. If you are struggling with a chronic illness or fibromyalgia, pick up something. Pick up a crochet hook, knitting needles, diamond painting. You can get diamond paintings for really inexpensive. I would suggest putting a light board behind it. There's paint pour. You don't need to know how to make a beautiful barn. I couldn't draw a barn for nothing. There's woodwork. Maybe when you go to the craft store, the yarn aisle doesn't make you happy. And Joshua Jones is my husband, y'all. Whatever floats your boat in the craft store. There are also these, the coloring books for adults. They're in there too as well. They're in there as well, and you can take color pencils. Anything to get your mind off the fact that you are sitting there and you're hurting. Because I guarantee you, if you have fibromyalgia, it doesn't matter if you're walking or sitting, you're hurting. You're achy. And it can get into the cycle of depression. Also, pay attention if you need a notebook. Start paying attention to exactly if your pain goes above. He's going to love that one, Mr. Plastic Crochet. He's an awesome. I have the best. I know we can all say we have the best husband, but I really do have an amazing husband. And I will come on and tell our story of how we met because it's pretty spectacular. But if your pain level is up past a 4, then you need to have a little journal, whether it's in your phone or on a piece of paper. What were you doing when your pain starts to increase? You figure maybe it was stress. What situation were you going through? What were you doing when your pain went higher? If I'm under stress, my pain is going to go up. If I have a panic attack, usually it's in the car. If I have a panic attack, my stress and my pain level the next day is going to be higher. I have a wonderful husband who enjoys, thankfully, taking the back roads. We're going to Cincinnati this weekend for a baby shower for my new nephew. Guess what? We're going the back roads. He enjoys taking the back roads. I love the back roads. I don't like the highway. And it makes me start having panic attacks. And so we'll take an extra hour out of our way to go the long way, which is to me so much more enjoyable. And rather than putting me on the highway and say, here, deal with it. Okay, he's going to say, you know what? He hates seeing me in pain. I don't know what person wouldn't, that they love seeing in pain. And he doesn't want to put me through that. So he wants to make sure that I am, sure that I am, not in not in a good place. He doesn't want to see me hurting. So he'll take the back roads just because it makes me a lot easier. It makes it much easier. We go Thanksgiving, we live in Ohio, and we go to Indiana for Thanksgiving. A normal way would take us 4 hours. It takes us an extra hour to get there going the back roads. But I do not hurt as much if you stick me on the highway. I can't handle it. It just, I don't know what it is. I'd love to be able to figure it out. But, and that's one of the things that we're doing by peeling back the onion, is finding out if that can be helped a little bit. And I will say, living in Ohio and living in more rural areas makes a huge difference, because Florida traffic was nutty. I have no desire to ever be back in Florida. When we left Florida to move up to Cincinnati, we took all the back roads. Let me tell you, everyone, I think we forget the beauty of the back roads. We had, thank you, Mishy. We had the most wonderful time seeing all of parts of Florida. We went through Georgia. If you all ever are near Georgia, you can go to Helen, Georgia. It's beautiful. We went through all these wonderful back roads, and we took 2 weeks to move. All our stuff was getting moved by, pods, and we spent the time traveling, and it was wonderful. Did I have minor panic attacks? Yes, I did, but not anything if you had stuck me on a highway. And so we did what was best for me. My entire family didn't put me through it, because we were already tired and stressed enough moving from, Florida all the way up with 5 adults, an autism service dog, and my dad had dementia. So believe me, we did it the easy way. The back roads are wonderful. So if you know you need to take the back roads, guess what? You drive with a family member that is willing to do that for you. If you have to sit your family down, if you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and say, this is my life, this is my battle plan. Just think about it. If we would send our soldiers out there to say, guess what? I want you to go ahead and conquer this mountain. Here's your tools. Here's all the things you need to be able to do that, and go have fun. It would be an absolute mess, wouldn't it? Or if you're going camping and you never did roughin' kind of camping, and you didn't know what to bring, and you just decided to just go with no food and no water, and you didn't plan it out to some degree. It would be absolutely a mess. You have to have a battle plan. You have a battle plan A, and you have a battle plan B and C and D in some cases. Mishy, we're actually going to a counselor. Josh, my husband and I have been married for almost 17 years. We've been friends since 1997, so we've been friends for much longer than we were married. Best friends. And we're actually going and doing our counseling session. He has his counseling session, and I have my therapy session, and we're doing it together, trying to work through some things in our lives, things that we needed to work on. And we're there as a support system for each other. He's there for me, and I'm there for him. So that we can work through and peel back some things in our lives and that need to be dealt with, that just haven't been dealt with. So we're not going there necessarily for marriage counseling, as we are just to be a real good support system for each other. And I really think that that's really vital And is that you have somebody in your life that can be your rock and your support system. My number one, of course, is Jesus and God and so forth. My next is my husband. And he lovingly accepts it, accepts who I am and have had to become. I don't drive. That was another real hard thing. When I was probably 2018, shortly after my grandmother passed away, I started having difficulty driving. And so I don't drive. That was a real another one for me. If people don't realize that fibromyalgia changes you, it does. I avoid stress like the plague. If I need to lay down and have a nap, I do. If you are a female, you most likely are going to have heavier, more difficult times during that time of the month. You're going to have, they're going to be. And so if that happens, usually it's not a good couple of days. I will try very hard to put in the comment in the community guide post exactly, if for some reason I can't come on. I'm going to put it there. I'm probably not going to come on Monday. I won't be on tomorrow. I will try to come on Friday, and then Saturday we have to pack because we have to leave early on Sunday to get to Cincinnati and check in the hotel and then go on to the baby shower. So I won't be on. I won't be on for the weekend, but then I won't be back on Monday. I won't be on Monday because we don't come home till Tuesday. So it may be till Wednesday, but I will try to hop on Friday because I wanted to show off the baby booties and the blanket I did for my nephew. You know what? I guess I really didn't realize till very recently, as we're starting kind of doing this, that, you know what, I should have been in therapy and peeling back the onion a long time ago. And therapists are there for a reason. We're going to a Christian therapist, and I'm very thankful. And I'm thankful that I have a good partner and a good husband sitting beside me, helping me through it. In 25 years, marriage is wonderful, but it's a lot of work. My parents were married for 49 years. It's a lot of hard work, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's not this, this easy road. When my daughter got married, I said to her, listen, you know what? I'm going to give you as well as her husband, your dream wedding. And we did to what we could do. And she had a beautiful, beautiful wedding. And I said to her, remember that day, because when you're going through a difficult day, go back to that day. Go back to that day and remember when you first saw the person you were going to spend the rest of your life with at the end of that aisle. Man, it's just a feeling inside that it helps you remember, this is why I got married to this person, because you always love them, but you don't always like them. Let's say you don't always like them. But I know that if I need my husband at 3 a.m. in the morning, I can wake him up. And I have during, different parts of my life. So I really want to encourage everybody. This is going to be a topic. What is your battle plan? And you better get one if you're dealing with fibromyalgia. It can be as simple as, you know what? There's a lot of tutorials on Dollar Tree crafts. They're not that expensive. They're actually very, very inexpensive. And you could go to Dollar Tree and get some. I don't care whether that piece of craft that you made falls apart in 6 months. If you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and cannot go back to sleep, you can pull out a craft and put it together. I'm going to tell you, for example, my husband and I went to see The Blind movie. I highly recommend it. It was a wonderful movie. And we were coming out of the movie theater, and the car did something. I can't remember what it was, and it jerked. Well, I have a very bad back on top of the fibromyalgia, and that jerk felt like somebody literally, we were in a car accident. And I do remember, going, man, it was hurting pretty intensely there. And I sat there going, man alive, I had medication in my bag, and I should have taken it, and I didn't. And I came home, and of course all the the adrenaline is going and all that kind of stuff. Well, by 9:30, the adrenaline had worn off, and man alive was I hurting. And I thought I better take my medicine and lay down. And I laid down till about 11 o'clock. And I woke up, and my husband came to bed, and I go, oh my goodness. The pain was probably about an 8. My whole body just hurt. It may have gone down to a 7, but I couldn't take any more medication at that point. And I was sitting there, just tears were rolling down my face. And I remember sitting there going, okay, Mary, you got a half an hour. In a half an hour, if you cannot go to sleep, you're getting up, and if you have to crochet until 5 o'clock in the morning so you can have your next round of medication, and that's what you're going to do. But you're not going to sit here crying. And I just laid still enough, and I got myself calmed down enough. My husband was there, and I was asleep in about a half an hour, 45 minutes. But I knew I couldn't have any more medication. And so my plan of action was, if this doesn't go away, thankfully my husband can sleep with lights on. And I have a neck light too that I put on for my crochet. And I thought, if I can't go to sleep, I'm crocheting until either I get tired or I can take medication, another round of medication. Depending on what medication you take, and there's not a lot, and I think, there's not a lot to say here's what you got for fibromyalgia. There's not a lot. Depending on what medication you take, do not trust here. I'm going to tell you, it's the worst mistake you could ever make. Get an app on your phone. I use Pill Alert, and log every time you take a medication. If you don't remember what time you took that medication, and it's one that I don't have one that's set, sometimes some of the medication you take first thing in the morning, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're taking medication to handle pain, then you better make sure that you're logging it some way, somehow, into some form, so you know exactly when you can have your next round of medication. And I use Pill Alert on my phone. I don't care whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If I have to take my medication, it goes into my phone. I don't trust here. And my husband's actually said to me, you're hurting. When was the last time you had your medication? 10 hours ago? You silly, go take it. I don't trust my brain. But that's a perfect story to, I had my battle plan in place. It's 11:30. I'm sitting here hurting. It's not going to do me any good to sit here and cry about it. I better go take care of it. And so my only means of taking care of it was pulling out my crochet hook. It could be pulling out a coloring book. It could be making some, having a craft, doing a Dollar Tree craft, doing diamond art, woodwork, whatever it is that you have. Have a couple lined up, something that's really easy at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're struggling with insomnia. That's another thing fibromyalgia has. There were days where I could not sleep. 2 or 3 nights where I had to pull out that crochet hook and just sit there and crochet. So, have your battle plan in place, and don't just put we heard this expression, put all your eggs in one basket. Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't sit here and apologize to anybody about, what? I'm sorry. You've been thrown something that is life-changing. It is not cancer. You're not going to die from it. But man alive, is it life-changing? And there's nothing that you need to do to apologize for it. there's nothing whatsoever you need to do to apologize. I'm not looking to be famous from this channel whatsoever, but I'm looking to give a voice. I'm looking to start connecting people together that can be a support system. And if I can do it through crochet, wonderful. Wonderful. You don't have to apologize for anything. And I can tell you, you're either going to have people in your life that are going to understand this, or they're not. And you want them to understand it because it makes it easier for what you're going through, but it's not necessary. And I can tell you, my daughter has had a couple times in her life where she's had an injury or something's happened, and she'll just look at me and she goes, "Mom, I don't know how you do it." Well, I'm a tough cookie, and I'm going to be on here. We're going to have fun. I may be starting to do some jokes. We'll maybe start out with a joke of the day, because laughter is an amazing medicine. It's free. And I will tell you, there is one lady, we met her. She was amazing. Josh and I saw her twice. She has since gone to be with the Lord. But Jeannie Robertson, check out her channel. If I have a mod who can look up Jeannie Robertson, and put her link in the description. She was one that I went to at times when I was really when I was going through a difficult time. She was somebody that I went to and listened to sometimes those stories over and over and over again, because they were just funny. And it got me out of my life going for a minute, and then they came back. I know for 2013 was one of those years where one thing after another, after another, after another. I don't want to repeat that. I wouldn't want to repeat it again if you asked me. 2013 was the year I was officially diagnosed with fibromyalgia. 2013 was when my dad had shoulder surgery, and they couldn't repair his rotator cuff. And he had to give up his business that he had had for years. He was diagnosed with dementia that year. My parents decided to move, and it was like a little condo, and there was like four little condos connected. And there was a house next door that was open, and that they were selling that house, and they were able to move into there. I had to leave my job. My daughter had some medical issues, and my parents were moving, and then my uncle passed away in 2013. I mean, it was like, okay, Lord, we're done. We're cooked. We're done. And that was a really, really hard year. And I can tell you there was sleepless nights, but Jeannie Robertson was one of those people that I would go to and listen to. She tells some hilarious stories. And I would listen to them sometimes over and over again. And I remember when I went to one of her concerts down in Florida, and I saw her, I said, "You know what? I was going through a really tough year." And I said, "I can't tell you how much your stories helped me through it." Find the things that help you through it. I know for me, part of my routine every day is the lifeboat. Johnny and Tommy did a review on the hot pepper and bacon jam we sent them on Chase the Heat. And guess what? Sometimes I go and watch it again. Why? Because it just makes me laugh. I enjoy watching Benson, probably for the 3,000th time series of it, because you know what? It's just good humor, and a good show, and so I tremendously enjoy watching it, and so I do that. So find something. If you can find something that involves your hands, I guarantee you something that is methodical. Yes, we were the ones that sent it. And I did see that Tommy talked about fibromyalgia panel, and I'm going to write him again. If you go on the lifeboat, Christine, you will also see that I'm the one that sent him the Shawshank Redemption mug of hope. The water bottles that said the life is better on the lifeboat. I also sent him the crocheted soap savers, which he thought were like neat. We sent him Christmas candy corn, and we sent him the toy for squirrel. So if you go do that, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I think it's a show that says people will be talking or something like that. We sent him that, but we were the people that sent Johnny and Tommy the hot pepper. And you know what? Johnny's face in that video cracks me up every time. I have to say that I'm probably going to have to send them another jar so they can make a ham out of it. I mean, I thought, boy, oh boy. Lifeboat famous. Well, you know what? Tommy has helped. The lifeboat has helped me in a lot of ways. Because I have met some great people through that. And I went through a situation in December. December is a really hard month for me anyway. It is a time when a time for me because in New Year's Eve is a day that my grandfather passed away in 97. And New Year's Day at 12:30 p.m. a.m. is when my dad passed away. And so New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is really it's a hard time for me on a normal scale. And then something happened I'm just not going to discuss here. And that only aggravated everything a lot. And I can tell you the people that I have met through the lifeboat have been there, several of them, for me to just talk. And I'm very, very grateful for it. And you know what? Tommy has also helped me realize that, understand. I've had family members that were addicts, understand them a little bit better, living with them and going through all that. I also, just kind of dealing with life, because life is messy in a whole. It is just a messy world that we live in. But also, it's why I decided to take this channel in the direction that I wanted to take it into. I did not want this channel to be, I'm going to teach you how to crochet. It never, I thought about it. It was not something I ever wanted to do. I don't think that I may, and I'm not closing down the door for that, but I don't think I necessarily have the skill set. But my dad never met a stranger. My husband will tell you that. He could go into Publix, which I hope they bring up to Ohio one point in time. He could go into Publix and he would know everybody's. Mishy, thank you for coming on, and I hope you enjoy your dinner. He went into Publix and he would know all the people in the deli and the produce and everything and what their story is and how their family was. He never met a stranger. And he was amazing in that. I know I have the gift of gab. So I know I can come on here and we can talk about some really fun things and we can talk about some things that are really difficult. I want to make this, a series, not a series, but a discussion more than once. And I probably am going to do it better next time. It's not the first time I'm going to tell my fibromyalgia story. And it's not the first time I'm going to say, what's your battle plan? And I know I'm going to get more and more comfortable as the time goes by on doing this. So I appreciate everybody's understanding and patience as I kind of fumble around a little bit with my words and I fumble around with the technology a little bit. We're going to have my daughter on at one point. She wants to come on. And so I think there's some topics we can discuss there too as well. I want to bring people on here that do other crafts and other things that they could show us. Please realize it doesn't matter to me. Well, thank you, Christine. It doesn't matter to me whether or not you crochet or not, if you craft. Here's something that I want to put in there. I want to do a Facebook private group for us. I don't want to make it crochet. I don't want to box it into crochet. So in the comments when this video clicks off, if you can start putting, I thought about saying crafty crew. I just some other words that I could think of. But if you have some other things other nicknames that we can do for a Facebook private group, the crafty crew was one I thought of, and get people in so it's open to everybody that's doing something craft. I don't care whether you show me a picture of one of those adult coloring books. You're using something besides sitting there going, I'm hurting. This is I think this topic of battle plan and pain and fibromyalgia is enormously huge. I want to bring people on, like Tommy wants to do a panel, do a panel of people that have fibromyalgia. Let's bring them on. What works for you? Because what works for me is not necessarily it's going to work for somebody else. So this is an expansive thing that we can continue doing. That's awesome. Because I thought a crafty crew, I like it, but maybe we come up with something else. And I would rather it be something that, the first people that are here, the original crew that is here can come up with those names, something, and it comes from that. So I think that this is a topic that certainly can be done over and over and over and over again. But I wanted to lay the foundation a little bit. I'm probably going to do it even better as the time goes by. What I'm finding out is at the very beginning, I'm looking for my words and understanding that I'm realizing as I get further in, I'm getting a lot smoother. So it's just going to take time for that to happen. I probably will not be on tomorrow. I have some things I need to finish up for our trip to Cincinnati. I'm doing a soap saver for everyone that is in my husband's family, and I have about 5 more to finish, which won't take me that long. But I will be on Friday. I'm going to show the C2C blanket I did for my nephew, and I have little booties that I have a description. Like I said, if you like this poncho, in the description is the video tutorial to go to do it. I'm going to try to not come on when Tommy, because I saw he's on. I'm going to try not to come on about 8 o'clock at night, because that's when the lifeboat goes on, and I want people to be a part of that. So I'm going to try to avoid that time slot, that 5 to 5. You probably will very seldom ever catch me in the mornings, because I'm not a morning person. that's just who I am. I don't think I'll be on Saturday. I may, who knows, I may come on. But we'll have to see. I don't know if I'm going to come on Saturday because I have to pack for Sunday. And I definitely will not be on Sunday. I will not be on Sunday, Monday, and we'll be back Monday night. And I probably won't be on until next Wednesday. So I will plan a live stream on Friday. I hope. Just sore. That's people don't realize this. Moving hurts. Your body just goes. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. But that's my plan. I will definitely be on Friday. I will go ahead and schedule a live for Friday. I'll try to pick maybe around 7 o'clock. I think this is a good time. And then I will try to keep it at an hour. And I'll see how I am on Saturday if I get enough done. You may certainly share me on Facebook. You know, we're going to come on. We're going to get to know each other. I'm going to get my daughter on. She's under the weather, but I'm going to get her on so I can figure out how to get people as guests on. I use OBS. I do not use StreamYard because it does cost a little bit to have StreamYard. And so I'm trying, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do OBS. So once I kind of figure out how to get her on, I may be able to get other people on easily. Hopefully everybody loves the backdrop from what I had before. I think it really came out cool. I'm trying not to look like I'm in a hole someplace. There, that's better. That's better. I realized I looked like I was going in a hole. I had to pay attention to that one. Because I don't want to look like I'm in a hole someplace. But as I realized when I looked at my first lives, we're only going to get better. We're only going to get better. But I really, again, like the backdrop, I think came out really cool. And I think it's a great idea. If you've got some empty frames, whip up a thing, use your... Well, you know what? I don't have enough subscribers to go yet live on my phone. Now that would be great if I could get 50. I think I can go live on my phone. And that would be really great when we're out of town to be able to do it. We're actually staying in a hotel I've wanted to stay in Cincinnati for a while. So I'm excited. I got a really, really, really good rate. And I'm excited to go stay there and so forth. And I ordered a mic for my daughter. So I guarantee you when she comes on live with me, this will be her color. Let me see. That'll be her color. That's my daughter's color. It's turquoise. So it's her favorite color. Are you in the Cincinnati area? Or are you up? We're up in Mansfield. That's why if you watch Tommy show off that Shawshank Redemption mug, Hope, it was why I actually I stopped off there and got him that mug because I thought I have to get him the mug because that prison's about 15-20 minutes from us. I got to go pick him up a mug because I know that's one of his favorite movies. Oh, 11 subscribers. It would be great if you were only 11 miles away, right? Yeah, I'm only 11 subscribers away, and I think then I can go live. So we'll see if that happens. If you notice the colors for Blessed to Crochet, they're purple and turquoise, and purple's my favorite color, and my daughter's favorite color is turquoise, so I combine the both of them together. So I hope that we can have, and listen, if there's other topics that you think that I could speak on, please put them in the comments below. I think one of the topics, I've kind of told my journey, but maybe coming from a thing of talking about how we're, how do you talk with a family member that has fibromyalgia? Don't sit there and say to them, well, we how do you talk to somebody? You talk to them just like they're regular, but don't sit there and try to say, oh, I know what you're going through, or you're making this up, or this is all in your head. And no, it's not. It's legit. And there's days worse than others. And like I said, I will try to put it in the community tab. So let's have this discussion again. and I think I'll do even better and better. I'm going to leave. I thought about saying, well, down the road, I may, delete some of these videos that I've kind of stumbled upon. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not. Because people need to realize that when you're first starting out with this whole thing, you're going to stumble. And if you don't just stumble and figure out how to get through it and only get to see it's kind of like a journal, look how far I've improved. One step after another. I did the technology a heck of a lot better this time than I did before. I just have to figure out my chat box is not moving with the chat. So I've had to kind of look down at my my phone on a more regular basis than I would like to, so I could see the chat. I'm going to end this. We've been on here for about an hour, 10 minutes. I'm going to end this. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for joining me on our thing. We'll revisit this topic as what is your battle plan? Come up with a battle plan A and B and C. Know what you're doing when you're hurting. Know what you're doing, and it goes past just hurting. Know what you're doing when you're depressed. Know what you're doing when you're having a bad day. What am I going to do other than sit there dwelling in it? And maybe it's to go take a walk. Maybe it's to go do exercise. Maybe it's to get on the phone with a friend. Maybe it's to pull out your crochet hook. Maybe it's to pull out a coloring book. Whatever it may be in order to get you through, and have not only that battle plan for what it looks like in the day, but have the battle plan to what it looks like at night. If you're taking medication, log it. Know exactly what time you're taking your meds. Pay attention to when your pain starts to increase. Put it in your notebook. I'm at a 5. What's going on that I'm in a 5? What's happening? Am I stressed? Did I do a little bit too much today? What did I do that's making my pain increase? So maybe you could avoid that. I know if I get up and try to get going real pretty steady in the morning, I'm going to hurt more the next day. So I don't try to do that too often. I try to get up and let my body warm up a little bit, slowly in the morning. And then I'm not so sore throughout the day. I'm still sore, but not as sore if I get up and start moving and grooving right away. I can't do that. I don't do that very often. So get a notebook, start putting in things, and I guarantee you will start connecting dots. And eliminate those things if you can, like taking the highway. It's not something I do. Eliminate them. They're not worth the pain the next day. It's not worth it. If I have to, I will, but I don't want to if I can all avoid it. So I'm going to leave you with this. I think that this is a great Bible verse for today. Psalms 46, 1 through 2. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. That's a good one. I think Psalms 46:1, God is our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. And if we can lean on Him and go to Him and rely on Him and His strength, we can get through about anything and realize that we can get it. So I will be back on. I'll tell my story again and again. We'll talk about battle plans. We'll talk about other things. We'll come on and chit chat. I'll bring people on. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Samantha, for being a moderator. Thank you to my husband for hopping on. Thank you to everybody, Christine and everybody that came on and joined me. Please let me know in the comments if there's ways I can make improvements. Other topics you would like to have discussed, and we will get there. So have a great night, and I think that we're going to only get better. One step at a time. I will not be on tomorrow unless for some reason I feel like coming on. It may surprise you all. Who knows? But I will definitely be on Friday to see everybody. And I thank you so much. Have a great night and take care, and God bless. Have a great night, y'all.